certainly one of the Minardi Team USA cars.
Looks like the third turn that they're in right now. Heading down that straight into corner 4. It's a very tricky corner. That's the one very, very bumpy section of the track, and it is Dan Clark. You can see from the helmet there, Dan Clark is in the wall. And like you say, Jeremy, he was having a fantastic run, having really struggled all weekend, having got no testing in this car.
That's absolutely no testing whatsoever had Dan Clark been coming this weekend. He finally did the deal early part of this week, and look at him there waving in frustration. Where is this Champ Car safety team? He wants to get back underway. And of course the marshals there on the wall, they're not allowed to do anything. Dan's been around this series for a year. He should know that. He has to wait for the safety team to come around, and that's one of the lesser risk corners on the track, so he'll have to wait a little bit for the safety team to come along. Here though is Sebastian Bourdais making that pass down into turn 1, slides through under brake, a slide job on Justin Wilson. Here we go again, another angle, James.
Yeah, this is good. He's coming down, he's got the line, he's on the inside, and Justin thinks about holding it, but he knows he can't do it, and as he comes in, gets really close to the back end, his back end steps out. Very dramatic stuff there, close to an accident.
Certainly was, so good stuff there. All sorts of good action now. We're back under yellow again, which is certainly a shame, but Sebastian Bourdais is on the move, and of course this is his first race as a father in the Champ Car World Series. He was married last year to his longtime girlfriend Claire, and young daughter Emily was born on December the 2nd at the end of last year. There's a replay there of Dan Clark exiting stage right at turn 3, James.
Yeah, it is a tricky section. It's uphill. You come down through the tunnel and you're braking on an uphill, and that's the one section of this racetrack in Vegas. They've done a phenomenal job on this circuit, but there's one section that's very, very bumpy, and it is down through the tunnel there and in the brake zone into 3. And if he carries a little bit too much speed, the bumps can really unsettle the car, and it looks like Dan just went in a little bit too hot. The back end stepped out, and after that he was just a passenger.
Indeed, and you talked about it. It is a quick section of track too. It's a bumpy. You go down that down the decline, up the incline, I suppose you would, underneath the tunnel there. But the cars, they're doing 160 miles an hour up that section. They're hard on the brakes for turn 3.
And it's a tricky corner because you're braking uphill, but then as you turn, it completely flattens out. So you've got a bit of a compression helping the car at one point, but then as soon as you get to the apex of the corner, the corner's flat. You're no longer being helped out by that angled road. So a very tricky part of the racetrack, and unfortunately, it's just caught out Dan Clark here. And again, another car out of the race. Very, very unfortunate.
Yeah, but he had done a brilliant job. He got himself up inside the top 6, and as we said, hadn't even driven one of these cars before this weekend, so was well behind the 8 ball compared to everybody else. But he had, in actual fact, set the second fastest lap of the race before that off, had Dan Clark. He'd done a 1:22.4, and in fact it was the lap that was on the lap before he went off. 1:22.4 compares also to Will Power's 1:22.4, 22.472 for Power, 22.498 for Dan Clark. But that's the good news. The bad news is he didn't get around the following lap.
No, he did not. But I've been really impressed with Alex Tagliani. He's got the 3rd quickest lap right now. He's running in 3rd position. He is really blossoming in this new environment at the R Sports team. He had joined Rocket Sports. Justin Wilson with Roof Sport had their one-car operation. As you said, Jeremy, they've amalgamated the 2 teams to form R Sports, and he has done a fantastic job this weekend, out-qualifying Justin, as we actually see Alex Tagliani into the pits right now.
Yeah, so the pits are open, and here is Paul Tracy and the rest of the guys coming down the pit lane. Simon Pagenaud pulls off as well. Well, that's actually Mario Dominguez, I beg your pardon. So here is Sebastian Bourdais. He's already made a couple of pit stops actually this afternoon. He's already changed tyres, so I wonder, are they going to change tyres? Yes, they are going to put on a fresh set of tyres this afternoon in this next pit stop, along with everybody else in the field. We have 7 sets of tyres to last you through the weekend, so tyre management is very, very critical. It looks like he got out of the pits ahead of Simon Pagenaud, so again a good stop there by the Newman Haas Lanigan team. Of course, he would have needed to have taken on a little less fuel than did Simon Pagenaud and the rest of the guys.
And it looks as though Bruno Junqueira has managed to jump back ahead of Alex Tagliani in that pit stop, so a great effort from the Dale Coyne crew.
James Hitchcock, while we're under yellow here, I want to thank you for joining us this afternoon, and have a great time in the Atlantic race. You're going to start on the front row of the first Atlantic race of the season this afternoon. That's in an hour and a half or so's time. So thanks for joining us. We'll see you in Long Beach, and we'll be watching you later on this afternoon.
Absolutely, Jeremy. Enjoy the race. It's going to be fantastic. Sorry I can't be here to join you, but yeah, I do have a little bit of business to take care of later this afternoon, so I have to go get ready for that. So thanks very much, and like you say, we'll see you in Long Beach.
Can't wait for that. So we're under caution still here at the Champ Car Vegas Grand Prix, round 1 of the 2007 Champ Car World Series. 15 laps now in the books. A replay here of the scheduled pit stop for Alex Tagliani. That's the R Sports team we've talked about. Off come the red tyres, on go the black tyres, and a good scheduled stop for those guys. Lexington Energy Services, the primary sponsor on that car, the LXN2 R Sports DPO1 chassis. Again, a replay there of the pit stop again for Newman Haas Lanigan Racing. New colour scheme on that car for Sebastian Bourdais. Set the fuel for you. Will Power leads still from Paul Tracy. Bruno Junqueira, an excellent pit stop for Dale Coyne Racing. Gets him out in 3rd place ahead of Robert Dornbusch. Mario Dominguez, a good stop also for the Forsyth team. Yes, Mario Dominguez back with Forsyth. That was a shock. After he was fired 4 races into last season by Jerry Forsyth, but back now with that team, at least for the first 3 races of the season. Now Neil Jani, Ryan DeYell, he made an amazing pit stop, and behind him Sebastian Bourdais up into 8th place, then Catherine Legg and Alex Tagliani. And I've got to welcome now, while we're under yellow, Oriol Servio. Very kind of you to join us this afternoon, Oriol. Sorry you're not driving a Champ Car full time yet. There's Dan Clark making his way back to the pits. But just tell us a little about your situation, Oriol.
Good afternoon, everybody. Well, obviously I would prefer to be on the asphalt and not sitting in this beautiful AC facility that we are in, but it is what it is right now. So I'm still hopeful that something will come along in this season and that I'm actually going to be in a good seat, but as of right now, you know, I have to wait and be patient.
Yes, I think there's quite a few deals that are still to be done. There's a look at the puncture there on not sure whose tyre that was actually, but there's a long way to go, and there's a few deals here that at the moment, just for the first 3 races, certainly Mario Dominguez is one of them at Forsyth Championship Racing. So there are, and there's another couple of teams that are still talking about moving into the Champ Car World Series before too long. So we certainly hope something will open up for you soon. You've been around this sport for several years now and got a lot of good results. You had your first win a couple of years ago with Newman Haas Racing, and I know we want to see you back at the wheel of the car. But for now, and again, thanks for joining us in the booth, and pretty interesting race unfolding here, Oriol. Pretty interesting race unfolding already in the early stages, only 16 laps in.
Very much. I mean, it couldn't be more of an exciting first race of the season. You know, we have all these things going on. Sebastian starting on the back, going
Bill
to the
Stevens
front.
is down in the pit lane.
That guy at R Sports, and Paul, the race isn't really into its main theme yet, but a lot of strategy down here with fuel and tires.
Well, we made the decision. We took a little bit of a gamble here. We gave up P3 for P7, but we're on black tires. The sun's out. It's hot. We don't know what the racetrack will do. If we get to the end on one stop, we're heroes. If not, we're not.
And Alex is happy with the car.
Oh, absolutely. He's got a great car. He was saving fuel first one.
Got a good run going.
So there you go. Thanks, Bill Stevens there with Paul Gentilozzi, one of the principals of the R Sports organisation. Race control, we're about to go green. Race control, just reminding the drivers, no blocking is allowed. And a great restart there for Will Power, Oriol.
Yeah, look at Bruno. Bruno looking at Tracy. That would be awesome.
Looking to the inside, he will go. Paul Tracy, well, he's about as late a breaker as they come, isn't he?
Yeah, and I mean, Paul couldn't allow that, you know, Bruno to pass him on the Dale Coyne car. I mean, it was not going to happen. Either we were going to both end up in the wall, or Paul was going to stay front like it was. But hey, Bruno is doing an awesome race for the Dale Coyne team, and I mean, I'm really glad he's doing so well. He's one of the drivers that has been around, like myself, for a while. He's always proven to be fast, and he's definitely taking the best, the best of what he has right now.
He certainly is, and he's done 87 Champ Car starts as Bruno Junqueira coming into this weekend. 3 times he has finished second in the championship. He was found himself out of a ride at the end of last season, and there was no sponsorship forthcoming for a second car. That's where the Medizone guys came in on board to take on Graham Rahal. So Bruno looking around, and he's found a seat with Dale Coyne Racing. You've been in that position before, and Bruno says, hey, you know, like you did a couple of years ago, Oriol. Bruno says, I want to be in the Champ Car World Series, exactly what Cristiano D'Amato did 1 year ago, and he's now trying to make a name for himself and get Dale Coyne up to the front. And I think the fact that they're running a new car is certainly going to help. And let's replay here of the start, of the restart there, I should say. Will Power really getting the power on hard coming up towards the flag.
I mean, it's unbelievable. Already yesterday in qualifying, I couldn't believe he was 1 second faster than the second guy. I've never seen this before in Champ Car history, you know, in all these years. And and he's proving that it was not just one lap. I mean, he's definitely the man to beat today.
He is indeed. I was talking to him just an hour or so ago, and he was saying, you know, he's been really thrilled with that Dale Coyne racing car all weekend long. He's had a couple of niggles in qualifying. In one of the sessions, he was punted off by Tristan Gomandy, another of the rookies on the first lap, so didn't get to set a representative time. That was on Friday afternoon, but otherwise he's been in the top 4 or 5 every single session.
Yeah, no, he's been in top form, and it's a new track for everybody, so it's not like he had an advantage, you know, over rookies. You know, it was new for everybody, and he's proven to, you know, be able to drive that car much faster than anybody thought, actually.
And you know, being the new car, the new DP01 car, the Lolas have gone. They've just turned sterling service for the Champ Car World Series over the years, but now this new DP01 chassis, so everybody starts on a level playing field. They've got a couple of very good race engineers there at Dale Coyne Racing, and Bruno taking advantage of that.
Yeah. I mean, everybody starts from the same point. Finally, now we had the Lolas for 4 or 5 years, so we had some teams being able to, you know, make evolution every year. Like when I was at Newman Haas, every 2 races we had one new piece to try on, you know what I mean? And after 5 years, that's a lot of new pieces in a car. So now with the Panos, obviously, you know, the better teams, the teams with bigger budgets, I mean, are going to still be able to, like Sebastian is doing, I think they're going to still have probably a better car, but definitely the difference between one and another is much smaller than used to be last year.
And there was Sebastian Bourdais making a move there on Ryan Deyell. Ryan had got himself up into 6th place, a great run for the Pacific Coast Motorsports team. And again, just letting Bourdais, clearly Bourdais has the quicker car. Deyell not really fighting too hard, letting Bourdais go.
Yeah, and I see Sebastian is one of the few guys on black tires. Most of the other drivers are still on reds, and they seem to work pretty well for him. Usually the red tires are much faster, but in the race and when it gets hot like it is today, the reds, you know, after 2-3 laps may get slower, and I see that it's working for Sebastian right now to be on blacks.
Came in, he said, you know, every time we pit, guys, this is after the last pit stop, we seem to gain position, so this seems to be working out for us. And he had this quote: "If I was listening to my heart right now, I'd be crying, so I better check my mood." He's kind of giddy inside the race car, obviously very confident with what they have versus what they had earlier in the week in that one car.
Marty Snyder there down in the pit lane, and Sebastian Bourdais, we're watching him here, the #1 car, the McDonald's car, fastest lap of the race last time around at a 1:22.1. He's up into 6th place now, having got away around Ryan Deyell. Will Power just a 1/10 of a second slow, well less than that, the race leader in terms of overall fastest lap time set thus far. But now Bourdais, he's got his head down. He started at the back of the field after that crash yesterday in qualifying, and next in his sights is Neil Jani, driving that Red Bull racing car for PKV Racing. Oh no, Justin Wilson, the CDW car, the R Sports car. He's in the wall, another mistake, apparently, this time from Justin Wilson. We've seen a lot of mistakes this afternoon, it would appear.
Well, yeah, I mean, we cannot really tell if it was his mistake yet, but, you know, it's a very slicky track. And you know, the moment you step out of line, you know, it's very easy to get to the wall. We saw Friday on the first session how slick was. Gearbox.
My apologies.
Yeah, he lost the gearbox. It's a problem. It's a new car, a new first race of the season. You know, we're going to see a little bit of this. It's just the nature of the game. You know, there's these machines are very well prepared, but they're still racing machines. Everything it's, you know, brought to the limit, and sometimes when you're in the limit, things break.
I did. I'd been heard a word in my earphones there to say that he was in the wall. My apologies there to Justin Wilson. He wasn't in the wall, he was just pulling off the racetrack. And there again, here now is Sebastian Bourdais making a move down to turn 1. Can he squeeze his way past Neil Jani? Yes, indeed he can. So another place made up there by Sebastian Bourdais, now up into the top 5.
Yeah, Sebastian's flying. I mean, the race is going to be between Power and Sebastian's. You know, Sebastian also with all these yellows, it's going well for him, because every time, you know, there's a yellow, you know, there's less land to catch up to the front. So it's definitely working for him, and he is as fast as I would say as Power. So I'm sure towards the end of the race we're gonna see a very
also is Robert Dornbosch making that move. So Bruno Giguera goes from 3rd to 5th in just a couple of corners. And I wonder whether Bruno is perhaps struggling on these red sidewall tyres. We've heard a lot about it this morning, that are really not lasting very long at all. They're quick for a few laps, Oriol, but then falling off the pace quite quickly.
Yeah, especially today with the hot temperatures that we have out there. It's new asphalt, and when it's that hot, it becomes greasy. And maybe with the there's something going on Sebastian's car.
Yes. There goes Dornbosch.
I think he's having problems. I think Sebastian's